everybody. Thank you for the introduction.
Good morning, sir.
Taliha. Yes, you're doing a great job, Taliha. To the graduating students, as an alumnus of Footmin and myself, I'm very proud of your accomplishment. So I want to first of all congratulate you on what is a very important milestone in your life. I have decided to approach this using my own experience, my life journey, and not to rely on statistics. You know, leaving secondary school in 1994, I was a straight A student, the best graduating student in the year. And because of this, I was very well rewarded with lots of scholarship awards. This was really early success for me. This meant I was very comfortable, and I really didn't have to stretch my parents. I was flush with cash, you know. Then I gained admission into electrical and computer engineering in Footmina. This was my dream course. I've always wanted to study electrical and computer engineering and to work in telecoms. You know, but along the way I got sidetracked, and as Kazim said, I call him Jide. As Kazim said, perhaps I enjoyed the social life a little too much. You know, many years later, as my colleagues were graduating, I was left behind to resit a course. I mean, to me, this was early failure. It was a complete reversal. You know, so how did a straight A student end up with a receipt? You know, I wasn't fully prepared for the changes I would encounter in the university. And the most significant of this change was the freedom that I had, the new freedom that I had gained on campus, the freedom to decide what to do with my time. Early failure would prove to be a turning point, because from then on, because my classmates had a head start, I knew I had to work really hard to catch up. And I promised myself, I made a promise to myself that I would be ready for my next big test. And this has remained my biggest motivation to this moment, to be ready for my next big test. Your early career choices will be very important. The opportunities you get now will be a function of your degree. Employers will look to you and to your degree as a predictor of your future performance. But 5 years from now, it will be a function of your experience, what you have accomplished in the time since you left school. So decide in which field you would like to specialize and be the best at it. After graduation, I decided to work in telecoms as a data or an IP engineer. I immersed myself in a community of people who were hungry to advance as IP engineers. Through knowledge sharing and working together on challenging projects, we became very good at it. So look to gain experience. Jide spoke about about networking and relationships. And there's a question about how you balance gaining knowledge and building social relationships. And this is it. I combined both of them. I immersed myself in a community of like-minded people who are looking to excel at the chosen profession. And I made gains. So look to gain experience. It's very much like building a great project, a great product, much like Professor Albino spoke about. Only this time, you are the product. Soon, we were able to call up managers and pitch ourselves, emphasizing the value we could bring to their business. And I got my first high-paying job doing exactly this. Because like every good product, you will need to sell yourself. And the industry knowledge you acquire will give you the confidence to sell yourself. Then there's the power of relationships again, or networks. Build good relationships. During your career, you will need references about your character. References are very important for your long-term career progression. For an employer, it is said, if you have to choose between character or intelligence in a friend or in a candidate, choose character, because intelligence without character is dangerous. But character without intelligence only slows down a good result. Out of 80,000 employees, I got appointed as country manager at Ericsson at the age of 33 on the back of an excellent recommendation. You know, many years ago, I was heading operations for one of the big telcos in Africa, in one of the West African countries. And I had the opportunity of a visit from a very senior colleague at the time. She was vice president of HR, human resources for Africa, and she came to visit at the time for me because we were having difficulties on the network. There's a network outage. So every now and then, as I was sitting talking to her, every now and then,
we are losing you.
Walking and whispering in my ear. And I'll ask to be excused. Yes?
Hello, Shatse. Hello, Shatse. Sorry for this.
Can you hear me now?
We are losing you. I think your internet. Can you connect to another internet source? Talia, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
How is it going now?
Right?
Yes. It's
Shatse.
Okay. It's trying to connect. It's trying to change his network, sir.
Okay.
Okay, it's fair now.
Can I proceed?
Yeah, it's better.
It's better now, sir.
Okay. Where did I leave off? Where did I lose you guys?
Network outage.
Where you had an outage. We were talking about outage.
Okay. Many years ago, I was running a network. I run a network for one of the major telecom companies in West Africa, and I had a visit from the head of HR. She was vice president of human resources for Africa, and she came at a time when we were having outages on the network. And while I was sitting with her, I was frequently interrupted by people coming who were walking in to give me updates. And I had to excuse myself every now and then and listen to the guys and whisper something, explain, and give them instructions or advice on how to proceed.
Yeah, Shatse, I think we need to give you some time to fix your internet. Maybe 1, 2, 3 minutes.
You know, this continued for a very long time.
I'll maybe disable his video. I disable his video while it's presenting.
Yes, sir. So I think you may disable your video. Probably. Okay.
All right, that's done. Let me
okay, it's better now. I can hear you much more better than earlier.
Fantastic. All right, so I'll go back to my experience and the power of networks. While I was running the network for one of the big telecoms companies in a West African country, I had a visit from the then head of HR for my organization then, Ericsson. She came at a very inauspicious time because she arrived exactly when we were having network outages. And as I was sitting with her, every conversation was interrupted by people who were frequently come into the room to give me updates on the network.
It's still a bit bad. So changing internet source will be great.
Okay, give me a moment to do that.
What did he say?
Please give me a moment to change my source.
Okay.
While waiting for him, let me just respond to the question raised by Engineer Kazim some few minutes ago about changing the curriculum or the curricula. I can assure you that NUC is presently handling that, and within the next few months, we should be able to get new set of our curricula in. That's the first lesson. And the other information is that professors are no longer shouting and then making noise in class and then not too friendly with the students again. We also are actually changing. And I can assure you, if you come for your postgraduate studies, you will meet something entirely different. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ibino. I love that. And we'll take feedbacks. As I said, while waiting for chat, I am actually a member of the National Caretaker of the Footmen Alumni Association. And I'm abreast with activity of the school events also. And we get feedbacks on where we would help, where we could help, and the rest. Especially, we hearing stories about we talking about the increment and the rest and transcripts. You know, these are discussions that we having with the management on behalf of the students. So maybe before Shatse joins, can I have questions, please?
I'm back online.
Oh, you're back online. Great.
Yes.
So you can continue, Shatse. You were talking about the outage in Niger.
Yes, so I didn't say Niger, but you guessed right. There was an outage. There was an outage on the network, and I had a guest who was head of HR for Ericsson for Africa. And for me, it was a difficult time, inauspicious, because it was right in the moment of crisis, you know. But I was very calm about it. Every now and then, someone will walk into the room to interrupt the conversation, speak with me, and I'll give advice on what to do. And she listened patiently as this continued for a very long time. And after a while, she asked me the question, have you met the president of the region? And I said, no, I hadn't. And she said, I've watched you. I've seen how you are handling the situation and how you're interacting with the guys. I think you're doing a very good job. Have you considered being a country manager for the country? And I said no. And she said, I'm going to put in a word for you. I'm going to make a recommendation to the president of the region. And that is how I got appointed to become country manager for Ericsson in Niger at the time. And this was, I was the first Nigerian to be made country manager for Ericsson. Next, I'll talk about taking risks. You need to take risks. You need to stretch yourself. As it is said, no risk, no reward. You know. Also at Ericsson, I used to speak with my managers a lot, asking for bigger opportunities, bigger positions of responsibility. And this one time, I asked to take up a big project responsibility where I had very senior resources that were reporting to me, or as resources on the project. You know, as I sat in the office, I had resources coming in from Canada, from across the world. And then the first man comes in, and I was meeting him first face to face for the first time. As we got talking, he said at the time he had been director at Bell Canada, and he had over 28 years experience. I was 28 years at the time. He had 28 years experience. And as soon as he said that, it dawned on me, you know, it really drove home the scale of the assignment I had taken on. You know, this was a massive project, my first time as a manager, and having to manage people who are extremely talented and very experienced. You know, it took a lot. I had to dig in to be able to lead such a talented group. I put my skin in the game and I was rewarded. Professor Albino spoke about entrepreneurship. I mean, entrepreneurship within the workspace is being able to exploit the knowledge you have to create new opportunities for your employer. This only comes from building your general knowledge. In closing, I would like you to remember that the choices you will make will determine if you grow or you stagnate. You know, I promised myself this wasn't going to be a long speech, but I hope it is a memorable one. I would end with a quote from Gloria Steinem. She's an accomplished American journalist and a political activist. Whatever you want to do it now. For life is time, and time is all there is. So to the graduating class of 2021, the future is yours. Go on and take it.